Hey, this is Beverly Bozeman. I am the creator of About Her Ministry and the soon to be released best selling book, Diary of a First Lady, Shiloh Grammar. Happy Monday evening, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure and share this broadcast with your friends and your family. So, my topic today is It's Only Dirt. Grow from it, girl. I was reminded of a story that I heard a while back, years and years and years ago, right? There was this farmer who had a mule, or a donkey rather, whichever, and it was just stubborn. It was just stubborn, and it was like old and just did not really want to work anymore. He used it for farming, and it just got to the point where it didn't really want to cooperate. So he was like, okay, got you. So he had this hole that he was digging to turn it into a well for water or whatever. And so he decided I'm just going to get rid of this thing. I'm not going to shoot it and then have to bury it. I'm just going to throw it in the hole, and I'm just going to shovel some dirt in on it and bury it alive or whatever, and it's just gonna be done. So he threw it in the hole or knocked it in the hole or whatever, and he had this big old mound of dirt from where he dug the hole. So he took the shovel, scooped it up, threw it over his shoulder into the hole. He was going at it. 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 And when he turned around, to kind of pat the hole, there was the donkey. He was like, what happened? So apparently what had happened was the mule, donkey, or whatever was at the bottom of the hole. And when the farmer chunked the dirt in on top of him, he shook it off and kind of stomped it down. You ever seen a dog have water on him and he shake real hard or whatever? That's kind of along the lines of what the donkey did, but I guess he just shook it and then he just stomped in place or whatever. And as he shook it off and he stepped on it, it leveled out the dirt. So the more dirt that got poured in, the more he shook it off and the more he stomped in place, and it leveled the dirt out to where it was going up. And he was going up, he was going up, he was going up until he was, pretty much out of the hole and was standing face to face with the farmer. I don't know if he turned around and kicked him and walked off, which he probably should have, trying to bury that thing alive. But that's pretty much what happened. And what made me think about the story was somebody that I was listening to. I don't remember who it was. Hey, Angela. I don't really remember who it was, but they were talking about when people scandalize your name or just gossip about you, even if it's true, but they have the negative vibes to go along with it, or the negative intentions. They're just going to tell your business or whatnot. And it gets back to you, because it always does in some kind of way. The person was like, just shake it off. Like it's dirt on you, whatever. And in real life, whenever something is buried under the dirt, we don't know how it works out. But seeds, especially, the casings of the seed pretty much rot away. And then what's left is the inside of the seed, the flower seed, fruit seed, whatever, and then it begins to grow roots, and the roots go down in the ground as far as they're going to go before the fruit or the flower or whatever breaks through. So that's how we gotta be when people throw dirt on us. And it could be direct dirt. It could be issues on the job with your coworkers, your supervisor. It could be issues inside of your own household. It could be issues with people that you don't really want to deal with, but you have to. And those particular issues, we can see them as dirt. And we can do one of two things. Well, we can do many things, but the things that are beneficial for us, rather, we can be like the donkey shake it off and stomp on it, rise up to the top and move on. Or we can be like the seed that is buried in that particular dirt, and we can grow from it. And when I say grow from it, I don't mean just, I'm not going to say anything, I'm going to be the bigger person and just not reply to them or whatever. I ain't talking about that, because that's the obvious answer. To just no longer have any dealings with people. Don't even go around those particular situations anymore. I ain't talking about that. That's too easy. To me, that's not growth. Unless you always go off and have a fit and all that stuff, then that's growth. But in the terms of be proactive in where you go, be proactive in who you talk to and why you talk to them. If you talk to people who always say, girl, let me tell you what so-and-so said about you, and you hang out with them because it's routine, because you don't have anybody else to go out to lunch with, or they're always willing to buy you drinks when it's time to go out, you in turn have to make that choice to not be in that situation anymore if you hate it. Some people absolutely positively hate when somebody brings them a bone about them. Sometimes the people are really looking out for you, but at the same time, it's like, what did you say when they were sitting there telling you about me? The growth part to me is not the response to what the people say about you or to you or do to you in that situation. To me, the growth is don't even put yourself in that situation. Sometimes you really can't help it, but sometimes you can. On the job, do you have to interact with these people? Do you have to go and be in their area? Do you have to sit with them? Do you have to eat lunch with them? If you don't have to interact with those folks and they're always dragging you down or they're always causing conflict, do you really have to interact with them? If the answer is yes, then that's a job for Jesus, honey. It really is. If you cannot leave that job and it's a toxic environment to where you are the victim, you also got to consider, is this where God wants me to be? I remember years ago, everybody say years ago, I was in my 20s working in customer service, right? At a call center. And I was ready to go. I felt like I had been there long enough and I was just ready to go do something else. So I had joined this, it wasn't a church, but it was like, anyway, I became more spiritually aware, and I was encouraged to pray and tell God what it is that I want and watch the blessings start coming in, right? But them jokers didn't tell me that you're going to have to pay for what it is that you want, either in the beginning or the end. And I kept praying, God, I need to get off this job. I need to get off this job. Get me off this job. No, I didn't get fired, but he prepared me to get off the job by helping me with my, I don't want to say bad attitude, but I had a bad attitude when it came to people talking to me like they were crazy. So I said, God, help me with my patience. Help me with my patience. Help me not to get mad when these coworkers try to get me to do their job or try to get me hemmed up. Help me with these customers when they want to cuss me out. Help me with my patience, And that's the one thing I learned the hard way. You don't ask God to help you with your patience, because what I thought he was going to do was like, boom, let me do what I'm going to do. And you now have patience, or you have the certain level of patience that you need to leave this job and go somewhere else. It was like from that day forward, everybody that I talked to was just horrible, cussing me out, yelling at me, belittling me, people on the job, talking about me and stuff. And then one day the light bulb went off. God's not going to fix you. You got to fix yourself. He's just setting up the situation for you to fix yourself. I never asked for patience again. I never asked for anything that I was not prepared to have to go through in order to get what I needed. So when it comes to you being in an environment, especially a work environment where you have to, pretty much work and earn your money to live or whatever, and it's not an environment that's conducive to what you are used to or what you feel like you should be used to, it's best to do the work yourself before you ask God to help you, because he's going to set it up to where you got to learn a whole lot. Now, if it's a dangerous situation, then by all means, you got to take things on in a different way. But if it's just, people acting like jerks, then, that's something totally, totally different. Every situation that we're in, whether it's on the job, in the house, family, at church, neighbors, or whatever, it's an opportunity for us to either shake the dirt off, stomp it down, and rise up to where we should be, or to stay put and somehow or another get that particular shell off of us. It could be a way of thinking. It could be habits. It could be things that we are allowed. Get the shell off and allow the actual inside of the seed to go down and establish roots. That's where we tend to get impatient when we're asking for things, we're trying to grow, or we expect things. We don't think about that we have to go down and we have to have the roots before we go up, because if a good wind comes, we're going to be uprooted and tossed around, and we're going to be no good. And it's kind of like the building, the erection of a building. Instead, I always thought that a building was they just lay down the concrete and then they will start stacking the stories. But the higher the building in real life, what they do is they dig down into the earth, certain amount of feet, depending upon the level of the building, and also depending upon the sturdiness of the ground. They have to go down to a certain level so that it won't shift. It being the building won't shift like it's an earthquake. It won't, once they start coming in and putting layers on top of layers, they can't keep allowing the structure to go through the ground, because then the top of the door the ground is here and the top of the door is going to end up being here. So that's what we got to do. We got to be prepared to go down deep, as far deep down as we need to establish roots like a good seed, or to establish the weight. What is it that I'm thinking about? To establish the sturdiness of the structure so that we can handle the weight being put on top. Just like in the building, the erection of a building, and the weight being put on top is everyday life. We are going to have some everyday life situations that we really have to decide if this is even worth focusing on. But anyways, I think that's about all I got to say about that. Shake it off. It's just dirt, and it being, especially when people want to talk. That's what I mean by dirt. And it could be not necessarily, I forgot this part, in the form of she said, he said. It could be somebody questioning your skills, questioning your mindset, questioning the decisions that you made. Why in the world? Thank you so much, cousin. I really appreciate it. Life has taught me a lot of valuable lessons. Some people will, how can I say this? I'm trying to be as tactful as I can. When some people realize that they cannot ruffle your feathers, they can't get you to react like they normally would by the he said, she said, or even their stank opinion, they will ask questions. Well, why do you feel like you can succeed in that? Nobody around here has ever done that. You had a really bad breakup. Why do you feel like you're ready to be in a relationship with somebody else? Are you sure you have healed yet? It's those stupid questions that people will ask, And I am of the opinion that it's just for irritation's sake. They don't really want the answer. And the thing is, it would be those people who don't spend time with you to watch you grow, to notice your mindset, to know that you're not how you were in your 20s. You're in your 40s and your 50s, even your late 30s. And experience will teach you how to think on a mature level, how to accept criticism, and as the old folks say, eat the meat and spit out the bones. But some people don't want you to grow because they haven't grown. So if you grow in terms of not reacting the way that they expect you to or even want you to, because if you did, you would look like the fool, or you would look like the person that they have gossiped about. She's this way, he's that way. They'll look like a dummy, and they'll realize that they haven't grown any at all. And then they're very upset about that. And nobody, the folks who don't want to grow, will not admit to themselves that they need to grow. So it's it can be a sad time when people ask those types of questions, but their intention is not good. It's like they can't say anything to ruffle your feathers because you are here now. They're still down here and you're up here now. I did a live the other day about eagles don't go in the chicken coop, or eagles get out of the chicken coop. They're still on the chicken level. They're still down on the ground, but you have gone through life and you have evolved to an eagle, and they can't really stand it. And sometimes it be the people who got the most in life. They got the fancy cars, they got the big houses, they got all this bread, they got all these wonderful accolades behind their name, and they have all of these trips that they go on, and everybody adores them and loves them, and you just this little regular plain Jane, as people would consider this nobody. But they're jealous of you. And it's those people who will ask those dirty tail, I call them dirty loaded questions, and nice nasty questions. Are you sure that you want to lose weight? Because research shows that if you lose weight and you have been this heavy for so long, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have sagging skin, and then you'll have to go to a plastic surgeon, and it's going to cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Your husband's still laid off, right? So you'll be walking around with all of this excess weight, and then you'll still have to have the big clothes on, and they're not really going to look right. So you might want to just ease into losing weight. A couple of pounds here and there. Don't do anything drastic. It's those loaded, dirty questions like that. They are jabs too. But you got to shake it off. Just the devil trying to make you doubt yourself. That is the absolute truth. And you just got to be like the little mule who shook the dirt off, stomped on it, rose up to the top. Or be willing to stay up under the dirt like the seed and get you some really good roots established and shoot right on up. That's about it. All right. Well, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And the book is coming out on the big launch for the book is June the 30th. I am getting my flyer created for the pre-order. You can always go to my website, BeverlyBozeman.com, and put in your pre-order. There are going to be some goodies that are associated with the pre-order. I'm only going to have the pre-order for about a week. I don't really want to say what it is, but it's some very unique stuff, some freebies, some digital downloads. You even get to meet somebody through virtual live stream, a virtual meeting. It's going to be awesome. Have about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 goodies that go along with the people who pre-order the book. Hopefully I'll have it about this time tomorrow, if not Wednesday morning. Today's Monday. Yeah, Wednesday morning. Well, that's about it. Be sure and share this broadcast with your Facebook friends and family. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to release your genius, pull off the impossible every day. Let's be glamorous, godly girls.